Confessions in My Sleep. I started keeping a therapy journal because my counselor said it might help with my insomnia and the gaps in my memory. Every night before bed, I'd jot down my anxieties, my dreams, and whatever scraps of recall I could muster. It was mundane stuff at first: bad days at work, old childhood arguments, the usual self-loathing. But last week, after a night of uneasy sleep, I woke to find new entries written in my own handwriting. The words were raw, frantic, and angry, describing things I couldn't remember doing: breaking into a neighbor's house, stealing from a friend, even hurting an animal. I chalked it up to some bizarre somnambulism, or maybe a prank by my brother, who still had a sense of humor about my therapy. But every morning, the confessions grew darker. Names, addresses, details I didn't recognize. But the writing was undeniably mine. The only other person with a key was my landlord, and he had no reason to mess with me. I started setting up my phone to record the bedroom overnight, but nothing unusual ever showed up. No movement, no sounds, just hours of me sleeping restlessly. Still, the journal filled itself. One night, I found an entry so chilling I couldn't bring myself to read it all the way through. It was about a woman who lived 2 blocks down, someone I'd never even met. Except the entry described her bedroom in detail, and what I'd supposedly done to her while she slept. Yesterday, my therapist called to cancel our session, her voice shaky. She said she'd been contacted by the police about statements I'd made. I tried to explain, but she just kept repeating, "I can't help you anymore. I'm sorry." I barely got off the call before there was a hard knock at my door. Through the peephole, I saw 2 officers and a detective, all grim-faced. They said they had evidence, written confessions corroborated by security footage I couldn't explain. The detective placed the journal on my coffee table, gloved hands trembling slightly as she flipped to the newest entry, one I hadn't seen yet. Scrawled in my handwriting, but with a slanted, frantic edge, the last line read, "Tonight, when they come for me, I'll finally remember everything I've done." As the detective read it aloud, I felt a cold, crawling certainty that I'd written far more than I could ever recall. And as the cuffs tightened, I realized with horror that I'd left the camera running, but the footage would only ever show me alone, confessing to crimes I'd never consciously committed.